my dreaming soap. Welcome to my channel. Now today we're going to make a nice natural soap. So what I've got here is everything that I need all prepared. In the middle here I've got an essential oil blend. Now for this essential oil blend I've sort of gone for a lavender citrus blend. So I've got 60% of lavender essential oil, and then I've got 25% of tenfold orange essential oil and 10% of lemongrass essential oil. So that's in there to give me a nice lavender sort of citrusy fragrance. And I'm going to do two colours. I'm going to have a yellow. It's going to be sort of an orangey yellow. My Anatto that I use is actually really quite strong. So what I've got here is I've got all of my oils. I make up a master batch for my natural soaps where I master batch all my oils apart from my olive oil, because I always infuse my botanicals in olive oil, so therefore that makes a substitute for the olive oil that I would have used. So why I've got three little pots, let's just talk about these. This is just my normal master batch minus any olive oil. This is my infusion. Now typically for pretty well all of my infusions I do them at a rate of 15 to 1. So therefore that would be 1 of the actual botanical to 15 of oil. Okay, and that's the typical infusion rate that I use. I pretty well do that the same for all of them. And then as you can see with here, I'm actually then diluting that infusion. So this is my nice strong infusion, and I don't want to substitute all of my olive oil with the infusion because that gives me a really orange colour. So therefore I'm doing a bit of infusion and the rest of the olive oil. So in total these two together make up the olive oil that I would normally have in these oils. My other infusion that I'm using to get a purple is Alkanet, and again I do that at the same rate, 15 to 1, so 1 of Alkanet and 15 of olive oil. All of these infusions, I do make the infusion hot, so I put it very gently in a warm, what do you call it, crock pot, slow cooker, that sort of thing, on low overnight. But then typically I leave them for about at least a year before I get round to using them, so that's why mine tend to be really strong. So for this I've then got, again, the base oils, all of my normal oils, no olive oil. And then I'm substituting all of the olive oil that I would have had in this recipe with Alkanet. So I don't need to add any extra olive oil because that's my total olive oil amount. And then because of the way we do naturals with infusions, I've then measured out my lye solution for each one. Whew. So there's all the prep. Let's get this all mixed up then. So I'm just going to get all these oils in together. So this is my extra olive oil going in just to bring up the total oils correctly to complete my recipe. This is my Annatto infusion, and for my infusion, because mine's really strong, as I said, I'm only using the equivalent of 10% of my recipe as that Annatto infusion. Okay, so that can go in there. 83, that's quite a nice temperature for those. And then my Alkanet, as we said with my Alkanet, that is completely replacing all of my olive oil. Okay, so I'm just going to get my lye solution in, and again I've measured the lye solution for each infusion. Right, so let's get these blended up. Okay. going to check that they're emulsified. I think they're fine. Right, so let's get this oil split out. Same with this fragrance oil. Sorry, I think I just said fragrance oil, essential oil, obviously. Okay, so let's get this poured. It's going to be a pretty quick pour. First of all, I'm just going to get my Anatto into the bottom of this mould. You see how dark blue that is? Okay, that will change colour as it goes through saponification. Okay, so I've put my mould, as you can see, just on my Cheshire Cat, my thing that leans my mould over from Custom Crafts Tools. I'm not trying to get a slanted soap, but what I am wanting to do is I do want to pour this soap sort of down the side of the mould. Okay, that's enough for that side. Whoop, careful. And then I'm just going to go down this side. With the rest of that. Now, I think I might have mucked that up actually, because I allowed my orange to get all the way across. So it'll be interesting to see what I've got in the middle of that. I might have a tiny weeny little mini wave, but I don't think I'm going to have too much more than that, to be honest. And then what I'm going to do is, just to finish off, is I saved a tiny bit of that Alkanet. So I'm just going to pop that along this one side. And then what I'm going to do to finish that off is just flick that over a little. So just quite a simple top. I'm just going to leave it like that. I think I quite like it like that, with those just little flicky bits. Right, I'm going to pop this away. This does need to go through gel because it's natural colours. So I am going to pop this, and then we'll have a look at it when we cut it. I don't think I've got much of a wave or anything going through there, but still going to be a nice soap. Here we are with our soap. It's a couple of days later, and you can see that has come to a lovely deep purple. That was the Alkanet, and this is the Anatto. So it's still an orange colour, but not too strong. It's a good orange colour, but it's not too strong, and that was only me using 10% of my solution. So let me just get these cut. So it'll be interesting to see what sort of effect I've got in here. I'm not expecting a big old wave or anything because of the way I poured it. If you remember, I allowed that orange to go a bit too far over the top of the soap, but let's see what we've got. Oh, that's all right, actually. There we go. It's a little bit odd. Look at that very thin bit that we've got going through. But I really like those, actually. I mean, I wasn't after a wave to look like a wave. I just kind of wanted the shape in the soap, because obviously if I was after doing an actual wave type soap, I would have probably gone for a more sort of sandy colour, blue colour, that sort of thing. But yeah, I quite like those and how they've come out. Yeah, it's a sort of a funny little sticky up bit there, but I do like those. I like that pattern, actually. I'm quite happy with how these come out, and they do smell lovely. Now, as you can see, and this will probably happen a little bit more as we go through the cure, as I've just cut these are a little bit sort of greyish inside. And typically what happens is if you have a decent alkanet, a good alkanet, that will then, over a number of days, then turn more purple. Maybe you can see on the top is a little bit more purple than the inside, and that will start to go more purple and less sort of grey. Let's finish off these soaps by adding some stamps to them. I've started to do that to my natural soaps because they're a little plainer in design, but I think a stamp just adds something extra to them. So these are part of the range of individual stamps that I sell in the shop. So you can pick the various components of flowers and leaves and bugs and animals and all that sort of stuff and just make your own design. So as this is a lavender, orange and lemon soap, I'm going to stamp some lavender flowers on. So first thing I'm going to do is just going to put some stems on. So I've got a little stamp that will create some stalks or some stems for me of a flower. Okay, I'm just going to jot a few of those on. And then I'm going to add my lavender flower. So I've just changed my little stamp plate and I can start punching in some cute little lavender flowers. So I've done quite a few of those because you always get sort of lavender in bunches, don't you? I might actually pop in an extra stalk there, just to attach that one to the ground a bit. There we go. So those are quite pretty. And then because they're lavender and lemon, lavender, orange and lemon actually, I'm going to put, I can put a little lemon in, shall we? So let's just put a little pile of lemons in. There we are. And we can see we've got some nice little lavender lemon design there on that one. Should we do another one? I'm going to stick with doing some lavenders, I think, because obviously it's a lavender soap. So I'm going to do some more lavenders. Okay, so I'm just going up and doing a sort of slightly taller stems this time. There we go. Let's put some little lavender, and this is really, really fun to do. And then this time, I think I'll put in a sort of sliced lemon. Now this wetness is, I find when I've got a detailed stamp, that's really quite intricate, if you just give it a little spray with some rubbing alcohol, it just makes sure that you don't end up getting bits of your soap stuck to your stamp. So there we are, some cute little lemons on the bottom of that one. There we go. are with those soaps all stamped up. The stamps are really fun to use and a nice way of just adding an extra touch. And I've got loads of individual little designs in the shop that you can buy to stamp your own soaps. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video and you like the soap. If you have, it would be great if you gave me a thumbs up. If you'd like to see what I'm making in the future, why not subscribe to my channel? Thanks for watching, everyone. Happy soaping!